Que paso, worldwide amigos? This is Jaime and Fuego from The Horror Show and from Heavy Metal Television, and I'm wishing all of you a safe, happy, and scary as shit Halloween. But first, before you enjoy the festivities, I want to share some of my favorite horror films with you. I will not take too much of your time, but here we are, starting with, drumroll please, dun-dun-dun! That's right, Jaws. Can you see that properly? Yeah. The original Jaws literally scared the shit out of me as a kid. I would not even step foot in bodies of water like lakes and rivers because this movie scared the pants off me so much. Steven Spielberg, a young, aggressive filmmaker, mid to late 70s, he just really knocked it out of the park. The shark may look a little bit dated by now, but you know what? It is totally worth it because the scene with the child getting ripped to shreds and that chick at the beginning, I mean, holy shit, man. All right, next up, in our second minute, we have... What is it? Pet Sematary. Yes, Pet Sematary is literally a film that, even though I didn't see it until I had grown a little bit older, scared the living crap out of me. And you know why? Well, because the idea of coming back not quite the same is a very scary idea to many of us. The book is tremendous, and the film really captures the insanity perfectly that this Dr. Creed is finding himself in the midst of as the narrative progresses, and boy does it progress poorly for him, I must say. Highly recommended, great direction, great performances, even from not a lot of large-name actors, except for, like, Tasha Yar from, Star Trek Next Generation? I don't know. Anyway, see it. It is one of Stephen King's best adaptations. Live it, love it. You will. Next up, we have Phantasm! That's right, the tall man is coming for you, kiddies. But you know what? Even so, most may say the original, the Coscarelli 70s version is the best. Oh my goodness, it's so scary and has such an ethereal feel. It does. However, the second film did what every sequel should. It upped the ante crazy big, and it made things more violent, more action-packed. The effects were better. It didn't retain as much of the eeriness, but my God, did it just take the subject matter to a higher plateau. The third and the fourth film, kind of forgettable, but this one is tremendous. Coscarelli, I am so excited for your newest, fifth, and final Phantasm. Bring it, dude. I'm stoked. Next up, we have a film that straddles the line between science fiction very, very well and of the horrific variety, The Thing. John Carpenter at his best in the 80s, some of the greatest practical effects that you will ever see captured on film, the animatronics, the makeup work. Holy shit, my friend, this film was so good. It stands the test of time. The performances by Kurt Russell and all of the, bit actors that they have all do such a tremendous job. This film literally sits alongside The Fly and The Blob, which you're about to see as one of the best films of the 80s as far as remakes go. That was when they did remakes well. What the hell are you guys doing now? Nothing good! The Blob, I just mentioned it. Holy smokes. I recently watched the Twilight Time re-release of this, and this is a horror film. The Blob, yes. Gaze at it. Be afraid of it, as you should be, because The Blob literally has no conscience. It has no feeling. It will munch up children. Sheriffs, it doesn't give a fuck. The Blob is just, it's a endless being of death, and they to kind of tie in some interesting political things in the mid to late 80s about, Russian curtains and biological warfare and all kinds of craziness like that. But you know what? This film is literally possibly my favorite horror film. This is not my 10 best horror films ever. This is my 10 favorites. In no particular order, but man, The Blob, it just is so good. It aged tremendously. Like a fine wine, I must say. Next up, we have Boomstick Time! That's right! Bruce Campbell at his best. Most may say they prefer Evil Dead 2, but it was just so similar to the first one for me that I must say the third and final incarnation, where he goes back to medieval times, is my personal favorite. Educating primitive screwheads, being just a wonderful wisecracker, yet, the violence is great, it's funny, it's what any good horror movie should be, because when there's a balance of humor and horror, I really think it makes the horrific that much more frightening, especially if the characters have made you laugh and you enjoy them, and, Sam Raimi, he really perfected it. I don't know about that Evil Dead remake, I don't know. definitely not on the status of the Blob and the Thing. That's for damn sure. Next up, we have literally maybe the best horror film ever made. Nightmare on Elm Street. Robert Englund turns in a tremendous performance. It turned into a franchise. One of the most frightening ideas literally ever put to film. Someone that can kill you in your dreams. Yeah, seriously, kill you in your dreams, man. Does it get that much more frightening? The sequels got cheesier. Third and fourth are very good. I still have a soft spot for Freddy vs. Jason, even if it's total cheese whiz, man. But the first one, scary, serious. I mean, and that ending, holy smokes. Who saw it coming? I don't know. Wes Craven, one of his first, still one of his best. We love you, Wes! Happy Halloween from the horror show and heavy metal television. How about them apples? Next, we have a film that I might just actually enjoy better than Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness. And what could that be? It's in a similar vein, that's for sure. This is Mr. Peter Jackson before he helmed the Lord of the Rings and these recent Hobbit movies that have not quite stacked up to those Lord of the Rings, at least in my expert opinion. But firing all cylinders, man. Dead Alive. Check that shit out. It was called Brain Dead when it was originally released in his native New Zealand. And this film takes the Army of Darkness, comedic, violent craziness, and really cranks it to 11, as we would say on heavy metal television, because literally, this is possibly the most violent film that has ever been made. Hands down. Dare I say, lawnmower scene? Or the hilariousness of, like, the baby in the park with, the protagonist. It's funny, it's gory, it's great. Seriously? Does anything else need to be said beyond that? No. So yes. Bad Taste, that's his previous one. Ha! I'm an idiot. Dead Alive. Watch it, live it, love it. The cover scared me a lot as a child myself. Next up, we have, in my opinion, the best vampire movie ever made. From Dusk Till Dawn. Yes, this was the culmination of Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino working together on a script. Quentin getting in front of the lens, Rodriguez staying behind it, and literally another film that balances humor with horror. Some of the craziest vampire deaths I've ever seen, where they're filling the condoms with holy water and, just the squirt guns, and oh man, and that crazy drill stake thing that George Clooney uses in the only badass role, in my opinion, he has ever played. Yeah, seriously, you're doing yourself a disservice if you have not seen From Dusk Till Dawn. Fuck the series. The sequels that were direct-to-video, the one had T-1000, blah, terrible, man! Seriously, you cannot go wrong with the original incarnation. No, it is horror of the primest grade. And now we move on to a series that might be my favorite series, even though it's really lost the ball in the last 4 installments. Alien Quadrilogy. But obviously I have to pick a particular film, and in this case I pick Aliens, Mr. James Cameron's epic, where literally he dialed it up to 11. He did the sequel thing that we were mentioning that, you had going with, oh goodness, am I a total buffoon? I cannot even think of it. Phantasm 2, that's right. Literally, Aliens 2 is scarier. Yes, I did say scarier. The scene with the face hugger where, her and Newt are, like, stuck inside that area. That is tension, man. And we're talking the all-out just violent warfare of that first interaction between the Space Marines and the aliens. I mean, we are talking horrific status and great female heroine. I mean, this is possibly the perfect sci-fi horror hybrid. Not to knock The Thing, but literally the action was tremendous. It's actually in space, so, it's an actual, like, space opera. I guess that's a better classification. The perfect space opera horror. Event Horizon comes very close with the demonic essences and stuff, so that's an honorable mention. But literally, the second Aliens film does what the first one did even better, in my opinion. Building tension, being crazy. David Fincher's, the third film, not so good. Alien Resurrection, penned by Joss Whedon at one point, could have been better. And the Alien vs. Predator films, we're not even going to get into those because they are dog shit. But you know what? As my 10 minutes with you is about to end, I encourage all of you who have not watched those films, yes, Aliens, From Dusk Till Dawn, Dead Alive, Nightmare on Elm Street, Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness, the remake of The Blob, the remake of The Thing, Phantasm 2, Pet Sematary, and of course, Jaws, the film that probably turned this kid into a horror movie fan before he even knew it. Extend gracias! Feliz Samhain, amigos, and I will see all of you soon.